I understand. So without focusing on the how to prevent it part, the question would be like, what is the harm committed in one point, and what's the harm, and how is there no harm in the other one? That's what I'm curious about.
Say it one more time.
So let's say 17-year-old girl, okay, goes to TwitchCon. She was chatting with some 17-year-old guy, and then she fucks him at TwitchCon, and then afterwards she goes home, okay? Let's say that in one world that's what happened, but in another world, let's say that she finds out like, oh god, that guy was like 25 or 30. Like, what is like the harm? What's the different results of these two worlds? Like, what's the harm in one versus the other?
Because you're underage.
No, stop doing the legal shit. I'm just asking, what's the harm in one versus the other?
No, exactly. No, I'm not doing legal.
We just said report him to who? God?
No.
I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
Report to the authorities? What are you talking about?
That's the legal cuck answer. I'm telling me, like, what is the harm in one versus the harm in the other?
As I tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is my belief, currently with my worldviews and everything, right, that if you're not of age, right, there's a reason why there's a legality behind it. Because you're not equipped, or society doesn't think, or science, or whatever the fuck, you're not equipped to make the correct decision, right? And other people can use that age gap.
Wait. Can I ask you, how is it that you're not equipped to make the decision to somebody who's 25, but you are equipped to make the decision of somebody who's 17?
Because that person could be deceiving you with tactics that they've learned through age, through different power dynamics.
You don't need age to this is the thing. It's like these fucking guys, dude, want to make everything about fucking okay, let's say the man is a 25-year-old autistic on the spectrum man, right? He's a man, he's 25, but he's autistic, he's on the spectrum, partially, not all the way there, and a 17-year-old girl, for whatever reason, he's handsome, he's just not all the way there mentally, but he's the most good-looking fucking man in the world, let's hypothetically. Who would have more agency? The 25-year-old man that has partial or less than full, cognitive function, or the 17-year-old fully functional? Let's say she's a ugly fucking 17-year-old chick, fucking ugliest fucking chicks, never talked to any guys, good-looking guys ever in the history of fucking mankind. And this beautiful Adonis of a man that has very low cognitive function, who has more ability to finesse who more? Who has more currency and the ability to, use the other one more? The fully functioning cognitive 17-year-old female, or the 25-year-old low cognitive functioning male? He will give age so much. He gives age so much validity. And once again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have age of consent. We should definitely have it to protect, in the generalities, we need to protect underage people, right? 100%. But in the hypothetical that Destiny is giving him, XQC can't even fathom that someone with a 4 to 5 year age difference, someone that's 4 to 5 years younger, even has the mental capacity to read through bullshit or see when someone's lying to them. It's insane. Age isn't the end all be all when it comes to cognitive function or being able to pick up on social cues. I know a lot of people that are much older than me that aren't able to read social cues. Age is not, it is a factor, but I think overall intelligence, and lived experience. You could be 25 but have no life experience at all and not be able to discern that you're being tricked. As far as we know currently, from what Doc has said, not an anonymous source, not an anonymous source from Twitch, from the Doc himself, said in mutual conversations with a minor that led into the area of inappropriate. If your mind takes that to sexual, okay. But to me, inappropriate, if you weren't ever in a corporate setting, you could get fired for much less. You don't have to have a sexual conversation for it to be deemed inappropriate and then removed from your job. So that's what I wanted to make clear right off the bat, that maybe I didn't phrase it right, maybe I didn't use the right examples, but I wanted to go over this conversation between Destiny and XQC, where it seems like they get into somewhat of the same debate. And let's check it out.
On topics like economics or whatever.
I mean,
Selfishly economic, but selflessly democratic.
I don't know what that. I mean, if you're rich and you just want to be taxed less, that makes sense, I guess, from a selfish point of view. Yeah.
Nah, I don't really give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
I never make a decision like that because on taxes. The most I'll do is like choose where I live, whatever, and then that's perfectly fine.
Okay. What do
I
you?
think there are measures. The measures you take. I disagree then. Well, you're tired already.
Well, yeah, I normally stopped streaming 2 hours ago, but I stayed out to cover this bullshit.
Well, you stopped streaming. Oh, you should have.
Well, I stopped streaming on YouTube because they said they were going to be like aggressively DMCAing people. So.
Why were you doing that?
Why what?
Wait. You said it one more time? The last sentence you said?
I said I stopped streaming on YouTube because I think CNN said that they were going to start aggressively DMCAing people. Yes.
That's why I went on kick. And why would they ever do that though? Why?
Because they want all the people on their YouTube channel.
I don't know at what point they start.
Yeah, but people watch it regardless though, on their channel. It's just from a different rebroadcast. How's that a problem?
Do we even know the age of the girl yet on Twitch, or that he was like? I don't care that much. I don't know what.
Everything on the doc stuff. Thoughts? Give me your view and your everything on the doc stuff. Thoughts?
I don't care that much. I don't know what he actually did. Nothing has leaked yet, like in terms of details, right? It's just that he was like talking inappropriately with a minor.
See, and Steven, Destiny or whatever, he knows this exactly as well too. You can't jump to conclusions and start saying, oh, so-and-so is a, pervert without actually knowing the context. But if I said that, everyone's like, oh, you're an apologist for fucking sexual deviance or something. But he knows that as of right now, the only information we have, the only information we got to go by that's credible is Doc's own words, because any sources that are anonymous sources from Twitch can be bent, stretched by media sources like Rolling Stones, like Bloomberg. All these sources can take snippets and turn that into a salacious article. They're media trained for that exact ability. This is what they go to school for. This is what they're trained to do. So I personally didn't give a shit when all this came out. I was like, oh, he's talking to a 17-year-old, or I don't. That's the thing. We don't even know if it's a fucking person 17.
Do we even know the age of the girl yet on
exactly.
Twitch? Or
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it said it. So now it's confirmed from multiple big sources and article and whatever, right? It's definitely sexual conversations and
XQC is gonna like remove the portion where it's anonymous sources. Keep that in mind.
asking about plans for TwitchCon with however you want to classify that.
Sure.
With minor.
yeah.
When you compute these parts, what does your brain tell you? And what are your views? And what are you think the optics are?
Well, the optics are probably bad. He probably shouldn't be chatting with minors on Twitch. My brain is telling me both of those things.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, assuming he's like trying to have sexual relationships with some chick or whatever and meet up with her at an event, it's probably not a good thing. You probably shouldn't do that.
Definitely not a good thing. What the heck?
Well, I don't know. What's the age of consent in the TwitchCon state, I guess. Whatever the law is, he should absolutely be following it. And I don't think he was, so it would definitely be bad if...
Well, I mean, now you're doing what I call like legality cocketing. It's an easy place to hide, but I want you to take the strong Chad morality.
The strong Chad morality standpoints is that when anybody talks about like raping or doing bad shit or whatever, I need to see logs. I need to see shit happening. Otherwise, I just don't give a fuck.
Exactly. These people want to, use morality as their case in point, but XQC has no morals. I mean, he gambles on the internet. He dresses like a woman. He makes out with men. Like, I don't know I don't think he's the arbiter of what's morally correct and what's wrong.
That's my position. If some 17-year-old girl is DMing Dr. Seuss, she's like, hey, we should go to kind of. Dr. Seuss is like, yeah, I'm gonna whatever. I probably shouldn't do it. She's young, that's stupid, but I just don't really give a that much. I think it's retarded. I don't think anybody actually cares. I don't give a if they want to do it, knock themselves out. I don't care. At this point, I just don't give a about any of that shit. Okay, my mind is in Israel-Palestine. Yeah.
When you say I don't give a, you mean like you don't personally care that much because it doesn't move mountains, whatever. But you still care about the topic and the morality in general. Just like, let's say you weren't distracted and that's all you had to do now, right? Do you care or not?
No. When I say I don't care, I don't. You know, he probably shouldn't do it. I just don't think it's that big of a deal unless he's actually trying to like mind fuck her in DMs, where he's like actually like leveraging his position as like an adult or an influencer or something like that. I think that those would be bad things. But if like some chick messages him and she's like, oh, I want to fuck you, blah blah blah, and she's like 17 or some shit, I don't give a fuck that much. I don't care.
Really, dude, I'm not virtually lying. This is just like how I operate and how I've always seen it. I feel like the minute that like somebody that isn't of age acts inappropriately, I don't give a fuck. It's all hands off deck.
Well,
GG.
it probably wasn't all hands off deck for him because he probably wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why.
This is where XQC's what I think is wrong with his statement and the way he sees the world. Apparently, this is his worldview. The problem is where I live, say California, we have Romeo and Juliet laws. So say hypothetically, you're in high school, you're a senior in high school, you fall in love with your high school sweetheart, she happens to be a sophomore, right? The second you graduate, you're out of high school, your girlfriend is still a junior, she's gonna be a junior, you're now 18, you're an adult, she's 16. In XQC's mind, you are now a sexual predator. You are now a person that should be, found guilty in a jury for predatory behavior on a minor, which doesn't make sense. Say both your parents you've been dating for years, you've known each other, for years. You were 16, she was 13, 14, you guys literally grew up together. Your parents know each other. You're from the same town, live a block away. In XQC's mind, he thinks because the second they become an adult, they have now all the reason and ability to, use, I guess, adult brain to manipulate a child, I guess, is what he's suggesting.
It's why I think it's a big deal. It's why I think it's a big deal.
Granted, XQC and I believe Steven, they're both hardcore like liberal lefties. It's weird that I would love to know their opinion on, I'm not going to put words in their mouth. I don't know, but I would love to know their opinion on, putting children on puberty blockers and, sex change hormones and, whether they think that a child is smart enough to choose their pronouns and biological, what will happen to them biologically if they believe that children can make the decision whether they can, transition into the other sex. If they say, yes, children have the mental capacity to choose their sex, choose their gender, but yet don't have because gender and sex, they're combined, they're literally, taking hormone blockers or whatever, puberty blockers to stop, the natural progression of, their puberty and their like growth, what they would become as adults. Say they have the mental fortitude, the mental capacity to make that decision as children, but cannot discern whether, 2 to 3 year gap is too much for them to partake. I'm indifferent. I'm just saying their stances.
That he wanted, because he wants to fuck her?
Oh, because It doesn't matter how it happened. I don't give a fuck. If somebody acted inappropriately or said something inappropriate, you get the fuck out. That's it.
Well, my guess
There's
is he
no
didn't
excuse
get the
for
fuck
staying,
out because he probably wanted to fuck her. That's my assumption. Is he wanted
which
to.
is terrible. Which is fucking terrible, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But-
I don't care that much. I don't fucking care. I don't think it matters that much.
Well, really, explain that. Explain so I know more, so that if I come to the debate, somebody like you, and I don't agree,
there's literally
I'm
no
equipped.
point. You should never debate this ever because everything having to do with consented sex is fucking cancer AIDS. But the question would be,
It is cancer AIDS.
The question here's the question. Okay, are you ready? Let's say that a 17-year-old girl messages a 17-year-old dude, and then they meet up at TwitchCon, and they.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Berna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter.
Did anything wrong happen there?
No. What?
Okay. Answer that question. Did anything wrong happen there?
17, no.
Okay. Let's say that she finds out afterwards that the guy was actually like 30. Did it like become wrong? Is something like really horrible now?
Okay. So, I'll explain it.
Okay.
So, one, yes, it's wrong.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. Tell me why. Yeah.
How you process and approach how wrong it is, right, is the key, most important part in all this.
Okay.
And here's why.
Yeah.
I think the closer you get into talking, you're gonna get a lot of hints in a lot of places that somebody is probably not of age. Somebody you should apply caution. And sometimes you have to do some big turn off, boring ass shit. We have to ask a really fucking boring question, like, listen, like, are you of age? What age? And you have to and I think it's your responsibility to just flat out say it. A lot of people will defend people and say, dude, what are you gonna do? Card her? What are you gonna do? Or listen, man, sometimes if you haven't had a bunch of signs and you're not almost 100% sure, you definitely should make.
Okay, but I guess
you don't get it wrong. Because if you get it wrong, you're cooked.
I understand. So without focusing on the how to prevent it part, the question would be like, what is the harm committed in one point, and what's the harm, and how is there no harm in the other one? That's what I'm curious about.
Say it one more time.
So let's say 17-year-old girl, okay, goes to TwitchCon. She was chatting with some 17-year-old guy, and then she fucks him at TwitchCon, and then afterwards she goes home, okay? Let's say that in one world that's what happened, but in another world, let's say that she finds out like, oh god, that guy was like 25 or 30. Like, what is like the harm? What's the different results of these two worlds? Like, what's the harm in one versus the other?
Because you're underage.
No, stop doing the legal shit. I'm just asking, what's the harm in one versus the other?
No, exactly. No, I'm not doing legal.
We just said report him to who? God?
No.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
Report to the authorities? What are you talking about?
That's the legal cuck answer. I'm telling me, like, what is the harm in one versus the harm in the other?
As I tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is my belief, currently with my worldviews and everything, right, that if you're not of age, right, there's a reason why there's a legality behind it. Because you're not equipped, or society doesn't think, or science, or whatever the fuck, you're not equipped to make the correct decision, right? And other people can use that age gap.
Wait. Can I ask you, how is it that you're not equipped to make the decision to somebody who's 25, but you are equipped to make the decision to somebody who's 17?
Because that person could be deceiving you with tactics that they've learned through age, through different power dynamic.
You don't need age to this is the thing. It's like these fucking guys, dude, want to make everything about fucking okay, let's say the man is a 25-year-old autistic on the spectrum man, right? He's a man, he's 25, but he's autistic, he's on the spectrum, partially, not all the way there, and a 17-year-old girl, for whatever reason, he's handsome, he's just not all the way there mentally, but he's the most good-looking fucking man in the world, let's hypothetically. Who would have more agency? The 25-year-old man that has partial or less than full, cognitive function, or the 17-year-old fully functional? Let's say she's a ugly fucking 17-year-old chick, fucking ugliest fucking chick, never talked to any guys, good-looking guys ever in the history of fucking mankind. And this beautiful Adonis of a man that has very low cognitive function, who has more ability to finesse who more? Who has more currency and the ability to, use the other one more? The fully functioning cognitive 17-year-old female, or the 25-year-old low cognitive functioning male. He will give age so much. He gives age so much validity. And once again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have age of consent. We should definitely have it to protect, in the generalities, we need to protect underage people, right? 100%. But in the hypothetical that Destiny is giving him, XQC can't even fathom that someone with a 4 to 5 year age difference, someone that's 4 to 5 years younger, even has the mental capacity to read through bullshit or see when someone's lying to them. It's insane. Age isn't the end all be all when it comes to cognitive function or being able to pick up on social cues. I know a lot of people that are much older than me that aren't able to read social cues. Age is not, it is a factor, but I think overall intelligence, and lived experience. You could be 25 but have no life experience at all and not be able to discern that you're being tricked.
Wait,
in order to get that sex out of you.
And a 17-year-old can't? You don't think a 17-year-old is going to boy or lie to a chick before to get laid?
Not the same way that a guy that's 25 can.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you've come to what I would say is my position. That's why I'm saying I would need to see logs. So typically, when you think about an older person and a younger person, so people's minds just go like, oh, it's bad because of the age, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is the reason why these are usually really bad is because the older person is using the fact that they're an older person as leverage. But this plays out in certain ways. So it might be that there's like some 17-year-old chick and the guy's like, oh, you should run away from your parents' home and like come hang out with me. Or, oh, like, I know you can't hang out anywhere. I've got my own place. Or, oh, I know you can't get around. I've got a car. Like, or, oh, you don't have a job. That's fine. Like, I can pay for everything, right? These are things that the older person has that they can leverage against the younger person. Like, and not just these things. There's a bunch of things like that they can leverage. Yes. This is why it's bad, though. I would argue that these types of things are bad regardless of age, but they are especially factors when it comes to minors. So I agree with that. But absent those things, that's why I'm saying go back to the example. 17-year-old talks to some dude, meets him at TwitchCon, they and then they go home, and then in one world she finds out, oh shit, that guy was 25. What's like the harm that's been...
Okay, the harm, like I told you, there's a lot of things that are intangibles in human interaction and dialogue, right? And even though you don't know what you're doing and how you're doing it, right? When you're older, you're using tactics, you're doing things in dialogue, in nonverbal, right? That give you a severe advantage over somebody who isn't equipped to defend themselves against these tactics.
Yeah, but like I understand, but what if the girl's leading the interactions? She DMs you and she's like, hey, we should meet at TwitchCon, let's You're like, yeah, sure. She's like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That person isn't of age, they are not within them to make that decision.
How can they? But they can make it with a 17-year-old, but not with a 25-year-old?
Because the person that's of age sets the playing field that's unfair. Somebody who is...
How can you set the playing field that is unfair? Say you're a 21-year-old. Let's not even make it as old as 25. You're 21. You have a large following on the internet. You don't DM anybody. You just get you have a huge following on, Twitter, whatever, TikTok, whatever. You have a big following. You're getting DMs constantly. And then a 17-year-old girl DMs you, says, hey, I'm interested in having, romantic relations with you. In XQC's mind, even though the woman an underage woman, went about it to, ask you, in his head, the man has the upper hand because he's older, I guess. That's his logic?
Isn't of age, doesn't, in the eyes of society.
I'm not asking about the eyes of society. I'm just saying, how is it that she's not equipped to make the proposition to a 25-year-old, but she...
If anyone in society, if someone would be like, read the chat log, right, or the conversation, be like, no, that 17-year-old girl was definitely trying to hook up with this older guy. At no point, there's no world where someone's seeing that and be like, well, it doesn't matter what the conversation was like, who's older? We don't discern life like that. That's not the way rational human beings make decisions in life. It's not like, wait, who's older? All right, they're right. That's not a situation.
Is equipped to make the proposition to a 17-year-old. How? What's the difference?
Okay. Say that slower. Say it again.
We're saying that anytime we talk about a minor and a major, a minor and an adult hooking up, we always get into things like, oh, well, when you're young, you don't understand the consequences. You don't understand what the dynamics are going to be able to play. You don't understand ABC, all these things, right? Okay, but then why do they magically understand all those things when it's two 17-year-olds?
Okay, they don't. The thing that I'm trying to tell you, right? Is that when somebody is of age, it's in my opinion that they can set and alter the playing field. The other person plays that playing field, right? If both are minors, they are both equally unskilled at doing so. Therefore, it's fair game.
I 100% disagree.
Does that make sense?
I mean, that makes it sound like that just sounds like such an insane world where we're saying that like a 17-year-old and a 25-year-old couldn't hook up because the 25-year-old might be like using powers to rape her, but if she's with another 17-year-old, his ability to use powers to rape her is a bit less, so then that's always okay. Like, how would she even be able to tell the difference?
Just don't. No.
Okay.
It's still don't do it.
Still don't do what? Hook up with anybody?
What? With an underage person?
No. I'm saying, what? So like, if you're a 17-year-old like boy, and other girls are gonna go hook up with you, like, couldn't you mind them like just as well? Like,
yes, but I think it's fair game though. Like, what?
This guy's never fucking, until he was rich, he was not fucking boning anybody, dude. Because growing up, you see a tons of fucking dudes branding the fuck out of fucking girls, tricking them, leading them on, and they're the exact same age. It's just whether if you have like that ability to finesse, that ability to, if you can, that charismatic ability to, just trick people, even if you're not interested and you're just looking to hook up. If you are charismatic, if you're interesting, if you have witty, you have good wit, you're good looking, and people proposition you, you are just as capable as a 25-year-old incel. According to XQC, a beautiful, handsome, let's say the most handsomest fucking 17-year-old man, like a boy, I guess, a high school boy that's, been with tons of chicks, he's a jock, all the girls love him, is less capable of hooking up with a girl than a 25-year-old incel that's never talked to a female in his life. How stupid can you be to think that a 25-year-old incel that's never spoken to a girl, that's never had conversations with a girl, has had limited interaction with girls, would have more ability to finesse a chick, to trick a female, than the 17-year-old all-star jock or musician or whatever is the most popular thing at the time, whatever girls are swooning over, whatever they are obsessed with, whatever they're dick riding, whatever women are obsessed with. A 17-year-old K-pop star, whatever, for like the last, couple of years, couldn't finesse more girls, couldn't brain more girls than a 25-year-old incel. Is fucking insane.
What?
This guy has never talked to a girl until he already had money, until he was famous, because he has this stupid, idiotic take where only age is the only thing that matters. The only reason why he wasn't fucking bitches, XQC, when he was 17 is because he wasn't 25, essentially, in his mind. It wasn't because he was a fucking loser, lame ass, fucking nerdy guy. And none of those things had to do with it. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you're crazy.
Okay, I guess. I'm just saying, this is why I don't care that much. Like, there's a world where if some chick messages Dr. Disrespect, she's like, oh, let's go to TwitchCon. Like, I want to fuck you. And he's like, oh, well, I don't know. When are you going? She's like, oh, I'm going to be there in January, blah, blah, blah. I got a hotel room. Let's meet. I'm 17. He should say no for a variety of reasons. But he was like, let's do it. Like, her sending him those DMs, if they were to go through and hook up versus her telling it to like a 17-year-old and they go hook up and then they part afterwards, like, I don't know, why the do I care if versus one or the other? Yeah. Like, there's a whole bunch of abstract theories like, oh, well, he should know.
This is the thing. It's like, you have to have a fucking nuance of brain. XQC is a fucking idiot, a retard. He fucking doesn't know shit about dick. He's an idiot. So he only sees things as black and white. These very simple, easy fucking go answers. If you don't think that no younger woman, let's not even say minor at this point. Let's say an 18-year-old woman, between 18 and 23-year-old woman hasn't ever fucking finessed dinners, money, gifts, etc., from older men, you are a fucking idiot. Because there's women every fucking day finessing these dumbasses. He got fucking finessed. And he can't even see it. He can't fucking understand that his fucking own chick was trying to sue him to come for his fucking money. So how could he not think that there at least is a small contingency, a small fraction of females out there that, yes, even though they're not adults, will go out there to try to, get something. I'm not saying that that's not that's the situation at hand, but to completely remove that as at all possibility, I don't know, it just seems extreme. Until the fucking logs are out, until the chat conversations are out, it is hard to make a definite answer. And goes one more time without saying, if it was Dr. Disrespect pressing the issue, pushing these girls or girl or whatever to conversate, condemn him at that, take him to court, criminally charge this motherfucker. But until then, we don't know.
Know better, blah blah blah. But if you think about like harm to the girl, like is she getting harmed more because one guy's older and one guy's not as old? It just seems like
because like I said, it's in my belief, right? That there's a reason why there's a legality standard.
Wait, stop. The legal.
Right?
There's a that's the legal.
I'm not saying it.
Legal. Wait, if you don't want to appeal to the legal argument, then appeal to the reason, not the legal part. Just appeal to the reason then.
The reason is that they're probably mental, biological, like development stage facts and a reason and studies that say in general, right? This is where we're gonna pinpoint this, right? And this is where it's fair game, and this is where it isn't.
Yeah,
and if
I agree
they
with
say
you.
a black and a white, and I think,
yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Game.
Yeah,
if both are under that threshold, whatever. But if one is over, then they shouldn't use that against it. And even though they're not doing deliberately, they might do it unintentionally, which is still wrong.
Sure, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think that like having a rule of thumb is fine. I think that where the age of consent is set at is probably fine. But what I'm saying is that like if you're asking me to care a lot about it, I just don't unless you show me some f***ed up logs. Then I'm like, oh, that was pretty f***ed up. Now I think it's really bad.
Okay, what would you?
It would be like somebody saying like, oh, like this huge streamer, this like smaller streamer, like this is horrible. It's like, was it? I don't know. Show me logs. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Or like a streamer, a fan, or a celebrity, a dancer, or two people in it or whatever. I was like, was it really bad? I don't know. Maybe it might be. Show me logs. Like, let me see. Like, it might be really bad. It might not be bad. Yeah.
Then do you agree that the level of bad has to be much less if you're if the person is underage? Then will you at least concede to that point that the level of wrongness of your logs does that have to be that bad to be when it's to a minor than an adult?
I think it gets a little bit worse, but I think it's gonna
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but it depends on like what you're hitting on. Like there are some things that would be really bad, and there are some things where it wouldn't make that much of a difference at all. So it just depends on what you're hitting on. So like, let's say for instance, the difference between like a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. Okay, like I don't know how, like if he was like, oh, like you're 19, like blah 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 blah, versus like, oh my god, it's 17, like that's so much worse than, like at that point, I don't give a f. But if it was like with a 17-year-old, it's like, oh, like you're not allowed to like get a hotel room because you're only 17. Like, let me get it for you. And like he knows that like since I'm the only one that can get you that hotel room, you can't go anywhere else when you're at TwitchCon with me because you're a minor. Like you're completely. That's really bad, right? But we're looking at like particular actions that make something bad. Now, one might work better because she's a minor, but like in the fact that they're just like 2 years in difference in age. If he's not like doing weird shit like that, then I don't really care that much. I don't give a.
Then I feel like then me and you fundamentally disagree. Then which is perfectly fine. You can have your opinion.
That's fine, yeah.
Because I think that through my own development and through me becoming of older age, right? I noticed the amount of like power or tactic that you could gain, that you could use, right?
I don't think this guy has any power and tactic other than the fact that he is a streamer and has a lot of money because he's a fucking idiot. Like, I don't know anyone that this dude could finesse just for the simple fact that he's older than them. Like, I'm pretty sure any 17-year-old girl that doesn't know who XQC is or that he's rich and famous, if they had no idea, they'd be like, look at this scrawny fucking loser trying to fucking hit me up. I don't care how much older XQC is than any girl. Just the fact of the way he speaks, his fucking ignorant ass ideas and stupidity. I just think that he could be any age and he would not be able to finesse a 17-year-old girl. It just doesn't seem possible.
It's not that I use them, but I'm aware of my aptitude in dialogue, in nonverbal, and
aptitude in dialogue. This guy fucking can't speak worth this shit. Hopefully he's saying in another language. Hopefully he means like in French or whatever fucking language he speaks, because he does not have the ability of conversation in English at least.
I see how you could use that power against somebody who's unaware of these tactics, and they could get rolled over. And I wouldn't want my child or my person or my So, why do you agree with that? Yeah, they should be in the, like a black and white
How would you feel if you didn't have to worry about marketing your Shopify store ever again? How would you feel if you didn't have to worry about marketing your Shopify store ever again?
To having sex with somebody, it's fucking brain dead. It's
okay,
fucking retard
that's great.
thinking.
Okay, and that's great. And maybe you don't give a about drunk drivers that kill people, okay? Because you think that a 17-year-old getting by a 23-year-old is like the worst thing in the planet. But for other people, especially people who like lost family members to drunk drivers, I think they would think that that's a really big deal. So that's great if you don't care, but you think it's more important to find out if some guy that wears a fake wig and a fake mustache is sending sexual messages to some 17-year-old, okay? Maybe that's a really big deal for you. Personally, I don't give a I would care more about the drunk driving thing, but I understand your opinion.
Okay, retard! The thing is, I didn't say the one is not important, right? I made the comparison. You made the comparison. You brought in
because what I'm saying that you can have. I'm saying that you can have two things.
I just think that XQC is a fucking idiot. Outright, I don't know. His viewpoints are insane. That just a simple factor of age can change. It's just something I wanted to look at. I mean, I thought it'd be a lot more interesting. It wasn't as much.